I feel really normal today. Put on my favorite, most comfortable summer dress. Little pockets. Little house on the prairie vibes, you know what I mean? Anne of Green Gables. Sarah plain and tall. Why am I standing like this? It looks like I'm hitting on you. Hey baby, you wanna do some repotting with me? So what I thought was that today we could just repot, de-stress, decompress, and talk about my secrets. I'm really depending on you to share your secrets with me in exchange. Otherwise it's gonna feel like I just spilled my guts to you for nothing. So what I'm gonna start with are my epiphytic plants, because I have some potting mix that's especially good for epiphytic plants. It's like really loose, really airy. It has a bunch of orchid bark in it and perlite. So I'm gonna start with my epiphytic plants, and then I will move on to a couple of begonias that I have. So here I have my Hoya Crinkle 8. I have a Dischidia obovata, watermelon Dischidia, Dischidia oyantha, Hoya Crimson Queen, which has the same problem that this Crinkle 8 has. I have a Begonia boliviensis, and I have my Begonia sutherlandii, which, by the way, in my video, Easy Care Low Light Houseplants, I called that a Begonia dreggy, and I was wrong. I'm going to be starting with Hoya Crinkle 8. I didn't think this plant really needed repotting until I discovered that it's got one of these plug situations. I don't know what this material is. You'll find a lot of Hoyas in this crap, and it just really like blocks the roots from going anywhere. And it also doesn't retain much moisture, and I know I'm breaking these roots, and I'm sorry if it's killing you inside, but there's really no other choice. So I went on this website to see like the typical secrets that people have, or the typical secrets that people keep. It said that people hide their true ambitions, you know, like what they really want to do with their life, for example. They'll just kind of hide that. They'll keep it as a secret from people because they're like embarrassed about it. So as for my ambition that I don't like to tell people about, I want to do YouTube, doing more creative content, not just like standing and talking at a camera, but you know, other stuff. And that is something that I would like to do. And I don't tell people that because people think you are a lunatic. It just makes me feel silly. When you think of a YouTuber, you think of like somebody who is like, I don't know, vlogging and crying in front of a camera and talking about their life, which is something I have done. Do you have a secret ambition? Anyway, tell me down below. I'm curious to know that about you. A lot of people don't like to talk about their beliefs or their ideology, and that's true, I don't like to, because I don't like to exclude people. There is one thing that comes up again and again, and that is astrology. This is irritating. Better. A lot of people like to guess my astrological sign. I think it's kind of like a fun parlor game, because people like to talk about themselves. Most people like to be categorized positively, you know. And also people like to find patterns, and they like to find something that will enable them to feel like they understand another human better in, you know, a psychological or an emotional aspect. So I can understand why someone would like the idea of being able to kind of condense someone into 1 out of 12 personality types. If you believe that, that's okay. That's totally okay with me. But for me, it's more like something fun or funny to talk about because I know a lot about it due to my childhood. But you know, if I met someone, I wouldn't be like, oh, you're an Aquarius, you know, so if you do have a guess, and you do want to guess, if you're into that sort of thing, you can have a little guess down below, and I'll tell you if you're right or you're wrong. You know, I thought about doing my astrological chart one day, but I don't know if it would really be that interesting. A lot of people don't like to talk about their abnormal behaviors. Oh, this one also has the crap around the plug that's made of, it's like coconut husk. What is happening to my voice? What was I saying? Abnormal behaviors, yes, that's what I was saying, that's where I was at. I like to be alone. I like my alone time. That's why in one of my videos I joked that I'm asocial, because I kind of am. I mean, I have a YouTube channel and I seem like a really chatty catty, and I can be at a social event. I can spend days. That's my weird behavior, I would say, is that I can spend a lot of time just like alone, and it doesn't bother me at all. What are your odd behaviors? Like, do you pick your nose? Tell me me something. If something comes to mind, tell me. I have this Dischidia. What? This is the wrong mix. This has no perlite. This has no, it's too dense. It's really not a good mixture for an epiphytic plant. So the next thing that people like to keep secrets about, drug use. Did you get excited? You think I'm gonna tell you I take all kinds of drugs? No. When I was in college, I grew psilocybin mushrooms. I did not smoke weed. I didn't like and I still don't. I don't like being high. I don't like marijuana. I don't like weed. You know, that was 12 years ago. I'm turning 33 this year, so I don't do that anymore. If you do have the opportunity to grow a non-psychoactive mushroom, like oyster mushrooms or, lion's mane mushrooms, it's a really cool experience because they grow really fast. Like if you like growing plants, mushrooms blow your mind. Like they grow so fast. Ooh, there was a recent Netflix special. Have a Good Trip, Psychedelic Adventures, I think, with a bunch of comedians and actors. It's really good. Like even if you are not a person who is interested in that as a subject or an experience, that was hilarious. It was really well made. It was very funny. Another question that I came across was, do you have a habit or an addiction? Not necessarily bad. Well, that is my habit. I wouldn't say that plants are an addiction. I can go months without purchasing another plant, and I can go days without paying attention to my own plants, even when they are in dire need of attention. Definitely something that what is in here? Do you see what I see? I would say that I was a little too addicted to social media. I would spend this crap, this husk, whatever this is, I hate this. I was on Instagram just way too much. Just way too much. I would spend hours on it. I couldn't go 5 minutes without checking my phone, looking at Instagram, seeing if anybody liked my pictures, looking at other people's pictures, commenting on their pictures, looking at my comments, just trying to connect with people. Like it was just overwhelming and like I would say almost exactly 1 year ago, because that's when I took a break from like August 2019 until January 2020. I took a break. I stepped back from social media. I stepped back from YouTube, just kind of assessed everything that was going on in my life. Also, social media is not reality, and of course, I'm not saying anything groundbreaking here. I'm not talking about anything that nobody knows about. If you haven't, you should know that social media has been linked to depressive moods, because you go on Facebook, you go on Instagram, and you see people posting their best lives. Yeah, I was like kind of addicted to social media, and I took a step back. I know that it has maybe been somewhat detrimental to the growth of my YouTube channel, but it has been good for me as a human being to not be addicted to my phone. Social media can be a tool, but it can also be a complete and total waste of time and mind space, and it can give you anxiety, and it can give you depression, and it can make you feel inadequate, and it can make you feel like you're in a race. There is no race. I still post there, just not as much. Do you have like an addiction that you're trying to get over, or a habit that other people don't have? Something like that? Let me know. Or just let me know your thoughts on social media. I would like to know your thoughts. So I'm going to clean this up and change this. Okay, I have my more dense potting mix. Now I'm gonna start with Begonia boliviensis. Beautiful Begonia hybrid. I don't know exactly which one this is. It is not labeled. Oh wow, I didn't know I was recording on Cam 2 for a real long time. I definitely have audio of me taking a pee. Have I told a lie that has bothered me my whole life? Yeah. I am not usually a liar. I like to be honest and straightforward. I'm not confrontational, but people don't love me for my honesty, is what I like to say. I don't usually put myself in a situation in which I will need to lie to get out of it. When I was entering the 7th grade, I have a sister who is 6 years older than me, and she had just graduated from high school. And she is a fantastic artist. She's a wonderful painter. She's very imaginative. So when I entered the 7th grade, I was kind of walking in her footsteps. And I had the same art teacher at that point. And so everybody imagined that I would be as artistic as my sister. This is potted up and I just want to show it on the camera. The leaves are stunning, green and ruby red, and the flowers are this magnificent peachy pink. Everybody imagined that I would be just as artistic as my sister, that, you know, painting ran in the family. And so I had this tremendous amount of pressure put on me. This new art teacher kind of favored me over all of the other students because she knew that I was the little sister of this girl who was a magnificent artist. And so she had high hopes for me. I just felt like a lot of pressure, okay? And I am not an artist by any stretch of the imagination. Like, I am not a painter. I could not paint. I could not use watercolor. I could not use oil. I could not sketch. I could not use chalk. I could not use pastels. It was a mess. I was just really bad at everything. So what I did was, so this was my setup. So I took this picture of Faith Hill, and because my mother was like a seamstress of sorts, it wasn't her job, but it was her hobby. She had a rotary ruler, like cutting mat for like quilting and fabric. And basically it's just like a big square piece of plexiglass or plastic with lines on it, you know, for measurements and stuff like that. And then I had a lava lamp. And when you take the glass bulb out of the lava lamp, what you have is the base of the lava lamp, which is just like a cone with a light bulb inside. So I would put the light bulbs in, take the glass thing off, and put the plexiglass on top of the lava lamp as if it were a light projector. Put a picture of Faith Hill on the plexiglass cutting board, put a piece of paper on that, and then trace Faith Hill. Then, knowing that that was like too perfect, you know, that like someone wouldn't go from just like being unable to paint altogether to like making a perfect line drawing of a celebrity just by eye, I would then like erase the lines, kind of mess them up a little bit, erase and redraw so that it looked like a crappy sketch made by a 7th grade girl. Like, I wasn't so stupid that I knew, you know, I could get away with that. So, and then I would just like shade it in to the best of my ability, but like I wasn't good at shading. But it was good enough that like my teacher put it in a regional art thing for kids my age, and it won. It won! So I kept doing that. And I also didn't want to disappoint anybody, and I didn't want to come clean. So I was kind of stuck in this place where like the art teacher was like, there's another competition coming up, I really need a piece from you. And I was like, okay. And then I would go like secretly get my mom's fabric cutting board and the lava lamp and sketch another celebrity or something, enter it into a contest, and you know, I would get like 2nd place or 1st place a couple times. And like, it just felt horrible. It felt horrible. Like, on one hand, as a kid of that age, you were like, I just don't want people to be disappointed in me at this age, like this awkward age of like being 13-ish. But then I had this tremendous sense of guilt because I knew that I was lying, and it was just awful. And then eventually I got into theater, and then it was like, oh, she likes theater better, let's let her do theater. And then nobody had any expectations of me in terms of like drawing and painting from that point on. It was such a great relief for me. But to this day, like, I am going to be 33 this year, and I still feel bad because 1, I lied and I tricked people into thinking I was something that I was not. And 2, I deprived actual talented human beings of like awards that they deserved and recognition that they deserved. Like, there were other 13-year-old girls who were actually good at art, and I deprived them of recognition for that. It just bothers me to this day, bothers me. Anyway, what do you lie about? Is there like some weird, silly lie that you have lived with your entire life that you've like never told many people about or something like that? Like, that's not, you know, when I tell people about that, they're not gonna be like, you're a terrible human being. But it's still something that I secretly feel bad about deep down inside in my heart. What about you? What else? I want to know about you. If you can relate to any of these stories, or if you have your own story on these like subjects, like these secret subjects, please leave it in the comments below because I love reading that stuff so much. And I also really like learning about you guys because, you know, you're my community, like you're the people I belong to. You are my tribe. So I really like hearing from you. Thanks for joining me. If you've made it this far, I really appreciate it. Like and subscribe if you liked this and you want to subscribe. Check out my channel for other houseplant content. I'm not gonna hound you about any of that this time because this is long enough. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful day. Repot your plants and tell me your secrets. Bye. I would like to thank my patrons. I gained many a patron this month and I'm deeply grateful for you. You have given me the motivation and the courage to keep putting out new content. My $10 patrons, Joanne Burke, Anthony Rankin, Frederick Bowman, Rebecca Reppert, Emily, Carolyn Green, and Jay Kennedy. My $5 patrons, Little Miss Know-It-All, Dieter Daly, Billy Moore, Michelle Arnwine, Maggie, Jerry Parker, Abby Clark, Kathy L, Leah A, Miranda Moyer, Laura Wright, Fenner Lamb, Haley Shannon Spaniel, Romina Reyes, Chai Guy, Giselle Dow, Adam Banzoff, Elizabeth Murray, Aaron Meow, Kayla Mann, my $2 patrons, Karen, Georgia Thomas, Abigail Colin, Renee Allen, Martha Childress, Adam Boor, Hannah Gukala, Steve A, and Pamela. My $1 patrons, James Kopp, Gracie, Giovanni, Lois Rocco, Stephanie P, Michelle A, Leda Anastasia, Cassandra Lewis, Michelle Mikens, Jenny Sethman, Charlotte Johnson, Jesse, Sophia, JJ Garibay, Isabel Langlois, Elizabeth Velasquez, Kara Freeman, Wanyang Zhang, Elizabeth Mary, Josie, Sophia Clark, Michael Miner, Rahala Fiasco, Jordan Jepson, Kayla Davenport, Lisa, Nicholas Curtis, Lexi Haynes, Elisa Mattiota, Melissa Monstera, Linda Thea, Kristen Bjordo, Megan McConville, Claire Buck, Meg, Aria Putanen, Claire Lynn, Denise Grimm. Thank you. You keep me going. Thank you.